Good morning. Before we begin service, you are all welcome to Doshoko before we start. Please listen to the kansho, the calling bell, as it beckons the sangha to come and listen to the Dharma. So take a deep breath, slow breath, and listen to the sound of the kansho. Good morning. Welcome to our special service today, honoring and remembering with gratitude Eshinni and Kakushinni for their important work in helping to build the first Jodo Shinshu Buddhist temple in Kyoto, Japan. From that temple, Jodo Shinshu Buddhism has spread around the world, enabling us to hear the Dharma at our temple here in San Diego, so far away from Kyoto, Japan. We're going to begin our service this morning with a fruit and floral offering by our high school Dharma School class. Thank you, Cassidy and Paulina. Please turn to page 20 to chant the Sambujo, page 20.
wife and daughter of our founder, Shindan Shonin. It was in part due to their efforts more than 800 years ago that we are gathered here today to listen to the teachings of the Dharma transmitted to us by Shindan Shonin. At the heart of the Jodo Shinshu Hongan Jiha is the support and foundation that Eshinni and Kakushinni provided, which allowed Shindan Shonin to pursue his mission of propagating the Nembutsu teachings. May the fragrance of the incense remind us of the spirit of Shindan Shonin that still permeates our lives due to the support he received from Eshinni and Kakushinni. May the beauty of the flowers symbolize the compassion Eshinni and Kakushinni demonstrated and which surrounds us always. May the light guide us toward Amida's vow of awakening, just as it guided both Eshinni and Kakushinni. We humbly join our hands together in Gassho and recite the Nembutsu in gratitude and remembrance of Eshinni and Kakushinni's contributions to our lives in the oneness of Amida's wisdom and compassion. Please join me. Namo Kie Butsu, Namo Kie Ho, Namo Kie So. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Hearing the name, desiring to be born in the Pure Land, all can join Eshinni and Kakushinni in attaining the rank of the truly settled and attaining birth in the Pure Land. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Thank you, Sensei. Let's all turn to page 43 to chant with strong voices the Sambutsuge. Page 43, Sambutsuge.
Kogengi Ijing Mugoku Nyoze Yotosha Nichigan Mani Shuko Enyo Kaishitin Ompe Yunyaku Jumoku Nyorai Yogen Chose Murin Shogaku Daion Koru Jippo Kaimon Shojin Sanmai Chie Itoku Muryo Shushokeu Jintai Zengen Shobutsu Kai Gujin Jin no Kugo Gaitai Mumyo Yokunu Seson Yomu Nin O Shishi Jin Toku Muryo Kukun Kodai Chi E Jinmyo Komyo Iso Shindo Daisen Ganga Sabutsu Daisho Ho Kado Shoji Mihu Gedatsu Huse Joi Kainin Shojin Nyoze Sammai Chi E Ijo Gosei Tokubutsu Fugyo Shigan Isai Kuku Isa Daian Keshi Ubutsu Hyakusen Nokuman Ryo Daisho Shunyo Goja Kuyo Isai 死と小仏不尿愚道検証不逆非尿語者小分世界部不影無種節道公明首相死小国尿税精進偉人難量両が差仏国土第一号種奇妙道場超絶国尿内音二無闘争ガト愛民道脱一切実法解消新熱症状意図が国経楽安音鉱物神妙税が心象発願王妃力欲実法節損知恵無下上領子孫知が信行軽量心死食毒中画行精進忍術不敬ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがんにしくどく平等性祭道本母大心法上安楽南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏南無阿弥陀仏
We will now have representatives from our various temple organizations to do Oshoko. So as I call your name, please come on up. We're going to start with Dharma School staff, Nancy Martinez, our superintendent. Thank you, Nancy. Nancy does a lot of work to keep our Dharma School running smoothly. We really appreciate her. Next, Dharma School students. Representing Dharma School, Elise Kajita, preschool to third grade class, and Kaden Kawahara, preschool to third grade class. Thank you. Sangha Teens, Juliana Cruz, the newly elected president of Sangha Teens. Thank you, Juliana. Next, the Junior Young Buddhist Association, Junior YBA, Andrea Covarrubias. Andrea is also a very active member, and she actually danced for us at the bazaar. Adult Buddhist Association, Greg Yonekura. Thank you, Greg. Another hardworking volunteer and a Dharma School teacher. Buddhist Women's Association, Margot Spears. Thank you, Margot. Margot is our activities chair. You probably saw her come up with the brittle sail, and she also plays taiko. Taiko group, Bobby Koga, Chelsea Koga. Taiko is finishing up our workshop, so a busy day for taiko. Thank you, Chelsea. She takes care of all of our schedules, all of our gigs for us, in addition to being a taiko leader. Komon, Ken Muraoka. Komon is past presidents, another hardworking temple volunteer in charge of the Bonodori. Among other things, he does a lot of things behind the scenes. Thank you, Ken. And representing Buddhist Temple of San Diego, Luann Lee, our president of the board. Very hardworking and dedicated. Thank you very much to all these individuals for your dedication to our temple. Please rise for the Gatha Ondok-san on page 128, and then please remain standing for the reading of the Jodo Shinshu Creed. Ondoku-san, page 128. Jodo Shinshu Creed can be found on the insert in your Gatha book. So I'm going to read it slowly. So let's try to stay together. Jodo Shinshu Creed by Renyo Shonin. I put my trust in the vow of Amida Buddha, reciting Namo Amida Butsu. Let us live life to the utmost with strength and joy. I look to the light of Amida Buddha, constantly reflecting upon myself. Let us strive to live a life of gratitude. I shall follow the teaching of Amida Buddha, awakening to the right path. Let us share the true Dharma with others. I rejoice in the compassion of Amida Buddha, mutually respecting and aiding each other. Let us endeavor to work for the good of all. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 You may be seated. Next, we are very fortunate to have Reverend Laverne Imori as our guest speaker for this special service. I just talked to her briefly before the service started, and let's see. She has been active at 3 different temples. Maybe she's going to tell us a little bit. At Seattle, Ekoji in Virginia, and then here in San Diego. And she's been, you received your Tokudo in 2014. We just love her here at San Diego. So please listen to Laverne Sensei's message today.
Please put your hands together in Gassho. This is from our pledge that was written by Senyo Shonin, who is Gomonshu Otani Kojun. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So today is a memorial service to honor Eshinni and Kakushinni. Eshinni was the wife of Shinran Shonin, and Kakushinni was the daughter of Shinran Shonin. And as I was thinking about how to incorporate their lives into the children's Dharma talk, I decided that what I wanted to mention about these 2 extraordinary women were that how many of you have never heard of Eshinni and Kakushinni? Raise your hands. Don't be shy. Okay, so there's a few people. And not much is really known about these 2 women, but they were very important. And I think that if it were not for their efforts, for their dedication to supporting Shinran Shonin, we might not be sitting here today. So what I have concluded, this is my personal opinion, is that Eshinni and Kakushinni were 2 women who, in the medieval period of Japan, which was over 800 years ago, they were 2 very independent and I think very self-confident women. And I think that that is part of why I read this portion of our pledge, realizing the gift of life I have received. And I think that they did. I think that they were very, they lived in times that were very, very hard. There was famine and much suffering, but they were strong women. And I shall strive to live each day to its fullest. And I think that these were 2 women who lived their lives to the fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. And they worked to support Shinran Shonin so that he could share his message with us sitting in this Hondo today. Okay, so the book I chose is about is for our Dharma School kids. And my message is be the most authentic you that you can be, okay? So this book is called Be You. And let's see, I think I can see that. Is that the picture with the baby on the front? Yes. So I'm going to read this book to you. You were born to be so many things, and there's a lot of words surrounding this little baby. And this little baby could be you, right? And even you grown-ups. It's adventurous, persistent, ready, active, let's see, kind, compassionate, smart, brave. A lot of things, and a lot of things that we learn in Dharma School. So next page. My wish for you, no matter where your journey leads, is for you to always be you. Next page. So be ready to take that next step toward being an amazing human being. You are already amazing, but become even more amazing, okay? Be curious. Turn every stone, ask every why, and keep digging deeply. Discover your own answers. Now, your parents might say, no, don't ask why all the time, but you know what? I'm going to encourage you. And your parents might be mad at me, but ask that question, why, okay? Be curious. And be adventurous. Live a big life. When you're ready, step outside your comfort zone, bravely explore new paths, and see where they lead you. Now, I would also remind you that you're already on this Nembutsu path, the Jodo Shinshu path. And I am so grateful that you are here on this path with me and all of the others in this room. Be connected. Find kindred spirits. Be with those who make you feel like the real you. Now, be connected. What is that about? That's about our Sangha, right? Those of us that are gathered here today. The Sangha, be connected with your parents, with your family, with your Dharma School teachers, with everyone in this room, okay? And then be persistent. Keep going, never stop. Keep going, never stop. Keep going, never stop. And you know the story of the Dharma, right? So it's the little round Dharma figure that when you roll it, it bounces back, right? 8 times, what is it? 8 times down and then back up, right? The Dharma kept trying. And so we want you to keep trying. Don't be afraid of failure. Someone once taught me that if you never fail, it means maybe that you haven't tried hard enough, that you haven't gone out of your comfort zone enough, okay? Be kind and be understanding. Now, what's the theme of Dharma School this year? Anybody? Yes, compassion. So be kind and be understanding. That's kind of what we're learning in Dharma School this year, right? Is compassion. Keep those around you, help those around you to be themselves. Not just yourself, but help others be themselves too. And then one of the important things that I like to say, and I don't always do this too well, is listen. Part of being compassionate is to listen. So listen some more, learn more about who those other people are, okay? And that's also then about connection. Okay, be your own thinker. Think for yourself and set your own unique course. It isn't always easy, but you'll be heading in the direction of you. And one thing that I want to remind the Sangha is that is a lesson that Shakyamuni Buddha taught us, right? And many of us have heard, you know, don't believe something just because I tell you that this is the truth. Think about it. Discover for yourself that, in fact, this is the truth. And 2 of our very important lessons in Buddhism is about the interdependence, right? We all depend on each other, which we've heard in this book. And it's also about impermanence. Those are 2 truths that Shakyamuni Buddha taught us. But think for yourself, okay? And this one I think is very important. Be okay reaching out for help. When you need a helping hand, a compassionate ear, an encouraging word, reach out. So don't be afraid to ask for help. That's what interconnection, that's what interdependence is about. That's what we learn on this Jodo Shinshu path. And as you voyage out into the world, remember, no matter what, you will always be loved. To me, this is one of the most important pages of this book. because it reminds me of Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion. Amida Buddha grasps us, never to let us go. We are embraced by the unconditional compassion and wisdom of Amida Buddha. So, let's see. Oh, I have one more page. You are ready. Dharma School kids, you're ready. So go ahead. Be you. Be very, very you. Okay? So please join me in Gassho as we wrap this up. And what are we going to recite? Somebody? Yes, I hear you mouth. I see you mouthing it. What are we going to recite? Can you two boys in the front recite very loud? Namo. Okay, can you lead the Sangha in the recitation? Loudly. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Thank you, boys.
Thank you, Sensei. What a wonderful message. And I would guess that Eshinni and Kakushinni displayed all of these traits also and is passing them on to us. So thank you very much. Please rise as we read together our pledge, which can be found on the white paper insert of your service book. So again, let's read slowly and stay together. It sounds so much more powerful when we stay together. Our pledge, written by Monshu Otani Kojun. Breaking out of my shell, I will share a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, we will have the installation of our Dharma School teachers and staff. So will those individuals please come forward as our Superintendent Nancy calls your name.
Nancy, would you just have everyone come up to the stage? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm really honored and privileged to be able to introduce our teachers, officers, and staff for this year's Dharma School. And I wanted to introduce the teachers first because without them, we wouldn't have this chance to share the Dharma with our students. And Laverne Sensei has asked everyone to go up on stage. So when I call your name, if you would do Oshoko and please come up on stage. With the pre-K through third grade class, the teachers are Junko Kajita, Brevin Honda, and Greg Yonokura. The fourth through eighth grade class, the teachers are Avis Honda, Kimberly Cruz, and Sharon Sasaki. Sharon could not join us today. Our high school class, our teachers are Norman Kiono, Julie Watson, Greg Bull, and Lisa Umekubo. I don't think Greg and Lisa could join us today. And our substitutes teachers are Ralph Honda and myself. Our support staff, this year I'll be continuing as superintendent. Assistant superintendent is Sharon Sasaki. Recording secretary is Leslie Seymour. Treasurer is Roy Okuhara. Corresponding Secretary is Karen Okuhara. And we do have a lot of support people. Our activities people are Lisa Umukubo and Leslie Seymour. Our birthday acknowledgers are the Covarrubias family. So the whole family can come on up because couldn't do without you. Taking care of our bulletin board and Instagram are Julie Watson and Greg Bull. Sangha Teens advisors are Avis Honda and Kimberly Cruz. And again, people that we could not do without are our ministerial advisor. Our ministerial advisor is Reverend Laverne Imori, and all of the certified ministers' assistants and the lay Sangha who have been giving us Dharma messages. I know not everybody's going to go up on stage, but for all of those that provide Dharma talks to the students and share with the students, I truly appreciate you. Okay, thank you.
I'm going to call out the Covarrubias family to come on up. Please join us. I have the honor and privilege to administer the oath to these wonderful folks. And you can see that there's quite a few people up here. And that's because you've heard the, Paulina, you've heard the saying, it takes a village, right? And so this is, you all are part of the village, and this is part of that village that helps to do Dharma School. I think that the Dharma School is the future of our temples, and so I am really excited to see so many people up here so that I can administer the oath. So now I am going to ask you to turn your backs on the Sangha, but face the Amida. And I'm going to read the oath, and then I'm going to have you repeat after me. You have chosen to lead the Buddhist Temple of San Diego Dharma School as teachers and staff and volunteers for the 2023-24 Dharma School year. To serve in a leadership capacity is both an honor and a responsibility. It will require your patience, effort, and dedication to serving others. It's not an easy task, as there will be many challenges and perhaps even criticism for what you do. However, you must maintain a positive attitude and always keep the primary goals and objectives of the Sangha and the students in mind. Remember that the focus of the temple is to nurture our lives within the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. As long as you keep the three treasures close to your heart and mind, you will never stray from the right path in leading others. May you joyously and with gratitude serve your fellow Buddhists during the course of the year. If you will take these responsibilities upon your shoulders, please repeat the following. I will do my best to serve as, and then repeat what role that you're in, officer, teacher, or staff, in the BTSD Dharma School. I will strive to be considerate to all and to be a leader by example, more than by words. I will do my utmost to listen to the teachings and reflect upon myself. I will serve my Sangha with joy and gratitude. I put my faith in Buddha. I put my faith in Dharma. I put my faith in Sangha. Namo Amidabutsu, Namandabutsu, Namandabutsu, Namandabutsu. And now you may turn around and let's give them a round of applause in appreciation for all that they do. Thank you, Dharma School leaders.
Okay. Thank you very much for all those individuals who do spend hours preparing lessons and doing behind the scenes work to ensure that our Dharma School runs smoothly for our kids. So thank you very much. Are there any announcements?
Hola. This is an announcement and an apology. Because today, of course, we're celebrating the life of Eshinni. There was a book called The Life of Eshinni, Wife of Shinran Shonin. It was written by Yoshiko Otani, who back in 1970, and she's the wife of the current Monshu, okay? And it includes written text of her letters. It's a very nicely written book. It was supposed to be featured today, back in the bookstore. And I think maybe, you know, the trade value is about $1,000 or something, but we had discounted it to $10 just for you so that you could learn more about her. It's nicely written. Unfortunately, I searched high and low and I couldn't find the copies that we have. So we will keep that huge discount, and when we can find the books, we'll have them featured at the bookstore back there. Please pick up a copy, highly discounted copy. Thank you.
Good morning. So, our junior YBA will be having our annual Thanksgiving food box drive, which means next Sunday all the way to November 12th, we will be having boxes downstairs that you can donate canned goods and other non-perishables to. You can also leave monetary donations in our junior YBA mailbox down in the temple's office. On October 26th, after our 5 p.m. service, we will be hosting our annual Halloween party, meaning that everyone is recommended or advised to dress up in their best Halloween costumes and have a nice potluck and party with us. Thank you.
Hi, it's Margot again, your friendly brittle lady. I just wanted to ask if anyone has any bags with handles on it. If you could bring it in and just put it on the back counter in the kitchen area. This is not an endorsement for Trader Joe's, but they actually do make a very nice bag. Thank you.
I just want to thank everyone for their donations toward the stuffed animal drive for benefiting Ronald McDonald House Charities and UCSD Health. We collected 40 stuffed animals, which I delivered yesterday. So thank you very much. And also I wanted to, going with Cassidy's announcement, we will be having our Dharma School Halloween party following this, the service next Saturday evening. I promised Norman that I would wear a costume if he was going to wear a costume. So please come to look at, see the challenge, see what we come dressed up as. Thank you.
Thank you for those announcements. And the bags that Margot showed is actually for us to help us pack up the brittle into the orders. So that's why we need those bags. Okay, so at this time, we're going to have the Dharma School kids do Oshoko, and then they will be excused to their class. So preschool to third grade, you can go first with your teachers, Greg. And then followed by the fourth grade to eighth grade class. Thank you, teachers. Your teachers, Kimberly and Avis. And then the high school class. Good job. So this concludes the Dharma School portion of the service. So please, the adults may remain here for the adult service, and Mani will be your chair for that. Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
I have this from the Vista Temple. Oh. But then Luann also wanted to work. Okay. Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Mani, and we will continue with Vandana and Tisarana on page 96 in your service book.
Please join me from the very beginning. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Kie Butsu, Namo Kie Ho, Namo Kie So. Namo Midabutsu, Namandabutsu, 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 Namandabutsu.
Okay, now Reverend Laverne will present her Dharma message for the adults.
Hello again, everybody. Today, although it's not a quote-unquote special service, I think it is actually a special service in that we are honoring, we're remembering Eshinni and Kakushinni. And Kakushinni and Eshinni are not mentioned often in our Dharma talks, but the Women's Association of the BCA has asked that each of the chapters hold a special memorial service to recognize and honor them. So that is what we're doing today. What I'd like to do is, and this is the book that Joyce was talking about. It's a wonderful book. It has Eshinni's letters in it. Not much was known about Eshinni and Kakushinni until the 1920s. And so in the 1920s, 10 letters were discovered in a storehouse that were written by Eshinni to Kakushinni, her daughter. And so those letters may not seem like they were significant. There were only 10 of them. I'm sure she wrote many, many more. But those letters were significant in that it shed some light on Shindan's experience and on her experience. It shed light on the religiosity of the day during the medieval times. It gave us an insight to what might have been going on, not just in her life, but in the lives of the community around her. Eshinni-ko and Shinran Shonin. Now, Shinran Shonin, as you might recall, was trained on Mount Hiei. He was a monk. And as a monk, one of the precepts was to lead a life unmarried, right? But Shinran Shonin, again, he, I think, reflected a lot. He was a very sincere, honest with himself person. And it came to him, and he came down from Mount Hiei at the age of 29, and he went into solitary. He did some meditation, some real soul searching, because he came down because he said, all of this meditation, all of these practices that I'm engaging in, I'm not getting enlightened. And if I can't be enlightened, then how am I supposed to share the Dharma with others who are suffering? And it's said, and this is a story that's relayed, is that he came down for about 100 days, but while he was there, he had heard of Honen Shonin, one of his predecessors, who had been a monk on Mount Hiei, who also left Mount Hiei. But Honen Shonin came down from Mount Hiei to spread the Dharma, to share the Dharma with common everyday folk. People who normally wouldn't be able to go up into the mountain retreats and meditate, right? So nowadays, our lives are fairly comfortable, so we can maybe take vacation, right? And we can go pay or maybe just go to a mountain retreat somewhere where we can sit and meditate for maybe a week, right? And hear the Dharma. People in those days couldn't. Their life was pretty hard. They were fishermen. They were people who handled meat, who were disdained by the general public because they did handle meat. They were involved in the slaughter of animals to sustain people. They were fishermen, they were farmers, they were prostitutes, but they were just common everyday folk who normally might not be able to hear the Dharma. But these were people that truly, truly were suffering, especially in those days of famine, especially in those days when there was illness, right? Maybe something like we experienced with COVID, but maybe even worse because there were no medicines at that time. So Shinran Shonin, I digress, but Shinran Shonin came down from Mount Hiei. He listened to the teachings of Honen Shonin. And it is said that he had a dream while he was at the Rokakudo during the 100 days when he came down, after he came down from Mount Hiei. And he dreamed that Avalokiteshvara, Kannon, otherwise known as Kannon, came to him in this dream and told him that he would marry, and that he would marry Kannon, right? At some point, Shinran Shonin and Eshinni met, and they did marry. Again, not much was known about Shinran and Eshinni's life until these letters were discovered. And so I want to share some of those letters with you. Let me just, and there was one in particular that was very touching for me, in which Eshinni shared with Kakushinni something that happened to Shinran Shonin that really kind of gave you some insight into Shinran's experiences. Let's see. Rather than read the letter to you, I'm going to just try to paraphrase and describe what happened. So Shinran Shonin got very, very sick. He was in bed. He was maybe even slightly delusional, but he had fevers. And while he was very ill, he was chanting, he was reciting the sutra, the larger sutra, constantly, right? And what do we know that Shinran Shonin teaches us? Just one recitation of the Nembutsu, right, is enough, right? But he was reciting the larger sutra in hopes that maybe, I don't know for sure, but in hopes that somehow it might ease his suffering, ease his pain. So he went through this for 2 or 3 nights. And then it dawned on him. He said, wait a minute, what am I doing? I'm doing what I'm telling people that they don't have to do. They don't have to engage in continuous recitation. They don't have to say the Nembutsu many, many times, hundreds of times, thousands of times. Once was enough. And when he realized this, he stopped. He stopped. And he said the Nembutsu. And Eshinni relates in her letter that it was the next day he was covered in perspiration. His fever had broken. And from thence on, his practice was not many sayings of the Nembutsu, but it was a single, very entrusting saying of the Nembutsu. The Nembutsu came from within him. It was the calling of Amida Buddha. So those are the kinds of revelations that these letters provided us. They were very, very valuable lessons and teachings. Also, Kakushinni. I'm going to turn my attention to Kakushinni. I digressed here. Just to let you know also, when Shinran Shonin was about 80 years old, he left Echigo and he left Eshinni. She was a landowner, inherited, it was handed down to her. So she was responsible for an agricultural business, if you will, and she was responsible for not just her own family, but for the servants that worked that land. And she supported Shinran Shonin in his quest to share the Dharma, okay? He lived for another about 10 years in Kyoto. They were separated for almost 10 years before he passed away. While he was in Kyoto, he worked on the Kyogyo Shinsho, which is his magnum opus. And and during that period of time, it was Kakushinni, his youngest daughter, who took care of him. And Kakushinni, the importance of her role was that she also, when her second husband passed away, he left her some property. And it was this property that has become very key in our organization, which is the Hongan-jiha. She deeded this property to the followers of Shinran Shonin, his devout followers. And for that reason, that's how we have, to me, she is one of the foundation, she's one of the founders of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, the teaching, the tradition, because she wanted to make sure, she wanted to ensure that her father's teachings, which were so important, not just to her, but to many followers in Japan, she wanted to make sure that that was not forgotten. So she also established the system in Japan where the keepers of Otani Honbyo, which is where Shinran's ashes are, and then there's a temple and actually a Nokotsudo there. The keeper of that property, the temple there, has to be direct descendants of Shinran Shonin, okay? And she indirectly established the hierarchy, the organizational hierarchy of the Gomonshu system, so that the current Gomonshu is a direct descendant, I want to say 25th descendant of Shinran Shonin and Eshinni-ko, okay? So when I said earlier that the foundation of Jodo Shinshu rests really largely upon these two women, the heart, the dedication that they had towards propagating the teachings. It truly was. I don't know that Nishi Honganji or Higashi Honganji would even be these huge places had it not been for their efforts. So I want to close by reading the Jodo Shinshu Creed, and then really I would like for all of us to really deeply reflect on the words, on the meanings of this Jodo Shinshu Creed. I put my trust in the vow of Amida Buddha. Reciting Namo Amida Butsu, let us live life to the utmost with strength and joy. I believe that Eshinni-ko and Kakushinni-ko were very strong women. I don't recall in reading the letters of Eshinni, she did relate the hardships, the sufferings of the times, the famine, and just the challenges that she faced. But I wouldn't say they were complaining. I think they were just pretty factual, right? The second verse, I look to the light of Amida Buddha, constantly reflecting upon myself. Let us strive to live a life of gratitude. This verse reminds me of Shinran Shonin's experience when he was sick. You know, he was chanting or reciting the larger sutra, and then realized, wait a minute, what a fool I am, what a bombu I am, right? Why am I doing this? I'm teaching others that all they have to do is to entrust in Amida Buddha, say the Nembutsu once, out of gratitude. And he awakened to that realization himself. I think that Shinran Shonin was very self-reflective and as a result, I think a very humble human being. I shall follow the teaching of Amida Buddha, awakening to the right path. Let us share the true Dharma with others. Well, here we are today, right, 800 years later, because of their efforts, because of the efforts of Shinran Shonin in writing the Kyogyo Shinsho and his letters, because of the efforts of Eshinni and Kakushinni to support Shinran Shonin so that he could focus his efforts on sharing the Dharma. And because of Renyo Shonin, who revitalized Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, I think that we can sit here in comfort and listen to the Dharma. I rejoice in the compassion of Amida Buddha, mutually respecting and aiding each other. Let us endeavor to work for the good of all. That, to me, encapsulates the lives of Eshinni and Kakushinni. So please join me in Gassho. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha, who tirelessly works to liberate all. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Nam Manda Butsu, Nam Manda Butsu, Nam Manda Butsu.
Thank you, Reverend Laverne, for your wonderful message about two incredibly strong and supportive women in our history, our Jodo Shinshu history, Kakushinni and Eshinni. We greatly appreciate all the effort and research you did in helping us better understand these important women in our lives. Okay, our next is the Gatha Shinshu Shuka. Before we start this, I'd like to have Anne explain a few things about this song, because we haven't sung it in a while, so, okay.
Hi, everyone. Yes, we haven't sung this song in years, and so I think some of our, longtime members will recognize it. It is a Japanese song. It's on page 143, Shinshu Shuka, and the translation is on page 142. It has the word compassion in it, so I understand why Reverend Laverne chose this song. So what I'll do is I'll play it through one time, and then I'll look up and smile, and then it's pretty obvious when it ends in a sound. You could see the last, the words. So then we'll start the song, just so you can kind of get the tune. It's a very pretty song, so thank you so much. So please rise for Shinshu Shuka, page 143.
Thank you so much, and you may sit down now. Next is closing meditation. Okay. According to Buddhism, compassion is an aspiration, a state of mind wanting others to be free from suffering. It's not passive, it's not empathy alone, but rather an empathetic altruism that actively strives to free others from suffering.
Genuine compassion must have both wisdom and loving kindness. That is to say, one must understand the nature of the suffering from which we wish to free others. This is wisdom. And one must experience deep intimacy and empathy with other sentient beings. This is loving kindness. This is from His Holiness the Dalai Lama in the book, The Essence of the Heart Sutra. Okay. Next, we will have words of appreciation with Luan Lee, our board president.
Good morning, everyone. Just so nice to see everyone here today to observe our Eshinni and our Kakushinni Memorial service. And I'll have to tell them when they're here. Congratulations and gratitude to the Dharma School staff on their installation. And we appreciate their hard work each week, your dedication to the students and to the temple. On behalf of the Buddhist Temple of San Diego, I would like to thank Laverne Imori for not only officiating today's service, but providing both the Dharma School message, Be You, which really everyone can relate to, and the Dharma message about the Eshinni and Kakushinni's letters. Very informative and meaningful. Appreciation to all the minister assistants that helped out with the service today, and to our service chairs, Junko, Kajita, and Mani Ryan, and also to all the BWA members that are constantly supporting the temple. We appreciate you. Also appreciation to Ann Ong for providing the music and her guidance in the last song that we just sang. Brevin Honda for ringing the concho. Our technical team for providing the ability to live stream the service. And to you, the Sangha, for your attendance today and for your generous donations and support. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Luann. And just want to thank everyone for attending our service today. And if you haven't offered incense, please do so right now. Thank you so much. Oh, also, please, after you offer incense, please go down for hospitality.